Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. Disney Cruise Lines can be a very magical vacation for you, your family, anybody that you bring on a vacation on one of these ships. It's going to be a great time. We have been on every Disney cruise ship that they have, and we've been on some of them on multiple times. So we know a thing or two about planning the cruises and keeping it as stress-free as possible so you have the best time on the cruise ship. But your Disney cruise vacation doesn't start from when you board the ship. It actually starts from before you even get on the ship in the first place. There are a few hidden costs that you don't even think about when booking your Disney vacation on a cruise. And those things are very important to budget because those might come into play later on vacation day. One of those things is port parking. That actually costs money. So if you plan on parking at the ports, it actually costs money per day, depending on the port, how many days you are going, stuff like that. It can cost anywhere between $75 to $150, depending on how long your Disney cruise is. So before you get on the ship, you're going to either have to check your bag at the check bag location. So you pull up and they tell you what number to go to, and then you leave your bag there. Please leave a tip for those people. They work very hard getting all those bags on the cruise ships, and I tip them usually about $2 to $3 a bag just to make sure my bags get on the ship. We a lot of times actually bring our luggage on the ship ourselves, so we don't even have to worry about if our bags are going to make it. We just go and bring the luggage on, which is not that big of a deal. We just wheel it on the cruise ship, and that way we have everything we need. If the bags get stuck out there or someone lost their bags or it got misplaced or anything like that, my bag is always with me, and most of the time we get there a little bit later in the port arrival time, and we usually can just go straight to our room and bring our luggage, and we don't have to worry about the luggage coming at 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night sometimes. So other things that you might think about before you get on the cruise is what kind of upgrades do I need? Do I need any beverage packages like other cruise lines? Things like that. And the answer is no. You can go on a Disney cruise and they do not sell drink packages for adults. They do not sell drink packages for kids. They do not sell like soda packages. What they do is you can buy some cases of water or some wine, things like that. They can be delivered to your room. But when it comes to like getting a soda package or a drink package for your alcohol while you're on the cruise, that's not a thing. Disney actually has free sodas and coffee and tea throughout the cruise for your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. They have drink machines on the pool decks, all that kind of stuff, and it's already included in your costs. They also don't sell alcoholic drink packages, so any alcoholic drink you want, you have to purchase by the drink while you're at the different bars, which is fine with me because most of the time I only get like maybe 1 or 2 drinks a day. So the other thing that you do not have that other cruise ships do have, Royal Caribbean has dining packages that you can get. Disney does not have those because they only have about 2 specialty dining locations on your cruise ships. Like on the Disney Wish, you have Enchante and you have Palo, which are both paid separately throughout the cruise if you want to go to them. Those specialty dining locations are only adult, so you cannot bring your children to either one of those, and there is a dress code of a gentleman has to have a button-up shirt and long sleeve pants, and a woman has to wear a dress or things like that. Now when it comes to dining on the Disney cruise ships, you actually have a rotational dining, which means you're going to be going from restaurant to restaurant each night. They usually have 3 restaurants, so like on the Disney Wish, they have 1923, they have Worlds of Marvel, and they have Arendelle. And each one of those restaurants you'll eat at each night, and those are the main dining rooms, so you don't have to worry about paying extra extra for any of those dining rooms. So each night you'll be assigned to each restaurant. So night 1 you might have 1923, night 2 you have Worlds of Marvel, and night 3 you have the Arendelle restaurant. And the great thing about that is your waiter or waitress actually comes with you to each restaurant, so they actually know you. So you get to know your waiter, they get to know you, they know what you like to eat, they know what you don't like to eat, they know what you like to drink, that kind of stuff. So they go from 1923 with the first night, they go with you to Worlds of Marvel the second night, and they go with you to Arendelle the third night, and they love being able to go with you to each of these locations each of your nights. Now, if you have a cruise that is longer than 3 nights, you actually just continue to go to the different restaurants throughout the cruise. So you might go twice to 1923, or you might go twice to Arendelle, depending on how long your vacation is. And like I said, you can also choose to go to one of the specialty dinings, Palo or Enchanté or Palo and Remy, those restaurants while you're on the cruises. And again, it's an extra cost, but you don't have to go to, let's say 1923 one night. You can, instead of going to that, you can go to Palo or Enchanté or one of the other restaurants while you're on the cruise ship. Also, each of the different restaurants has a different menu, so you'll eat different foods at the different restaurants, and they're always pretty much the same. If you go on one cruise, or you might go on a cruise in a month, there's most likely going to be the same menu as the last time you went there. And on the Disney Cruise app, they'll actually tell you what day you have each dining, what time you have each dining, and if you don't like the time of your dining, let's say you got second seating and you really wanted the first seating dining, you didn't want to eat late, you want to eat early, you can actually put in a request to say, hey, can I please get on the wait list or anything like that to move to first dining, and a lot of times they'll be able to accommodate your request. Also, speaking of dining, the biggest thing on a Disney cruise ship is smaller parties actually sit together with other smaller parties. So let's say you're a party of 2, you might be sitting with 2 other couples that are a party of 2, or you might be sitting with a family, or you might be sitting with just a random bunch of people. You can also recommend or ask them to have a private table. So me and my wife on this last cruise that we just got off of, we asked for a private table, and we were the only 2 people at that table, which was nice. I have social anxiety, so when I get around people I don't know and I'm having to have to eat or film or anything like that, I get really nervous. So that's a nice thing to actually ask. It's for private seating when you're in these restaurants, and you can hopefully, not all the time, but hopefully sit at your own table by yourselves. So also, before you get on the cruise, you're going to have a check-in. So when you book a cruise, you have a check-in time. Usually 2 months before your cruise date, you actually have a check-in time. So let's say you have a cruise coming in December, your check-in day might be November 13th. So let's say November 13th, your time is the check-in, and then what does that mean? Actually, you get all your documents together, like your passport, your birth certificates, anything like that you have. They're going to ask you to put that stuff in. They're going to ask you to put your driver's license information in, your birth date, your name, and then you're also going to have to pick a port arrival time. So what a port arrival time is when your cruise day, it's a time you have to arrive at the port in order to board the ship. It can range anywhere between 10 o'clock all the way until 3:30, because the ships usually leave around 4 o'clock. So depending on how early you book your cruise and how early you get on that check-in time is depending on how early you can get on the ship, because a lot of people will check in early and they'll pick those early arrival times. So if you really want an early arrival time, make sure you get on there fast, like midnight on the day that check-in time is, and go ahead and finish all that stuff up and pick an early arrival time. We usually pick a later arrival time because it's less busy. More times than not, the very early arrival times is very busy because a lot of people get there way before their early check-in time, and that's a no-no because they will not let you on the ship. If, let's say, you get there at 10 and your port arrival time isn't till 1, you're going to be there from 10 o'clock till 1 o'clock just sitting around waiting until they actually let you go in and start checking in and get on the cruise ship. So now you've got to the cruise port, you've either checked your bag or you have your bags with you. Then what you do, you go through the security and then they tell you where your room is, and they go through security where you can only bring certain things. So make sure that when you go and get on their website, they have a list of forbidden things, like you can't bring surge protectors, but you can bring USB hubs. You can't bring certain things. If you bring a fan that has a cord, they might keep it to make sure that the cord is not fringed or anything like that. You can't bring certain things on cruises that they deem dangerous or anything like that. So make sure you check the do not bring on this cruise list before you get on there, or your stuff's going to get confiscated. So once you are actually finally on the cruise, that is the best time to go eat lunch. You go eat some of your favorite foods. You make sure you look up some of the YouTube videos on some of the cruise ships that you're about to go on. Again, we just went on the Wish, so we have quite a few videos on the Wish that we've been on. We went on the Magic. We've been on the Wonder a very long time ago. We've been on the Fantasy. We've been on all the cruise ships, and we plan on going on the Treasure on its inaugural cruise. So we love Disney Cruise Lines. We love all the different cruises because they're all different, and we love that because of that. So when you get on the cruise, you have different options to go to lunch. You can either go to Marceline Market, you can go to Cabanas, you can go all these different places that you can go on these different cruise ships. You can go eat lunch at some of the sit-down restaurants. Some of the sit-down restaurants are actually open for you to be able to go sit down and eat lunch. You can go to some of the quick service restaurants, like on the Disney Wish. They have the Mickey and Friends Food Festival, where you can get like pizza and hamburgers and barbecue and stuff like that. You can also get all sorts of different things on these different cruise ships. All of them are different, and they all are so good. So some of these things on the cruise you actually have to plan ahead of time. Like sometimes they have a princess gathering where you can meet all the princesses, and you can't just show up and want to go and meet all the princesses. You actually have to book a time before you get on the cruise or after you get on the cruise. Sometimes there's availability after you get on the cruise. You can get on and do that. They have it for a few different days, but you definitely want to book ahead of time. If there's any special things that you want to do, just get on the app and look for fun things to do on the cruise while you're on the cruise, and then check all those different times and see what you want to do beforehand, because a lot of these things get booked up and then you won't be able to do them once you're on the cruise. Another thing to plan on before you get on the cruise is excursions. So if you are going to Nassau, if you're going to Castaway Cay, any of those different locations, they have different excursions. Like Castaway Cay has parasailing, they have jet ski rentals, they have snorkeling, they have all sorts of different things that you can do, but you also have to pre-book them in order to do them. And sometimes they get canceled without notice because of weather. Like the last time we went, pretty much everything got canceled because it was so windy, and they won't allow you to go and do jet skis or parasailing or anything like that when it's too windy on the island. So some of these things might get canceled. You do get refunded, so you will get refunded for anything you plan ahead of time that's not able to happen. But a lot of times, like at Nassau and things like that, you want to book your stuff in advance through the cruise line. A lot of these third-party places are not good. You might, and also you want to make sure you're back on the cruise on time. And if you book through the cruise line, if something happens, they'll wait for you, and that's the only way they'll wait for you. If you're on your own excursion that you didn't book through Disney and it's 30 minutes late and you're going to miss your cruise, they leave without you. Have you ever heard of pier runners? You're going to be a pier runner if that happens. So another thing on Disney is they have different themed nights. Like one night is pirate night, and you'll dress like a pirate. They'll have fireworks. They're the only cruise line that has fireworks at sea, and you'll be able to dress like a pirate. So make sure that you bring some piratey gear on your cruise, because of the fact that, again, they're gonna have pirate night. And if a lot of times what's really cool is if you're on a longer cruise, one of the nights that you are going to dinner, they'll actually change the restaurant into a pirate themed thing. So you'll have different pirate themed foods, and you'll have different pirate themed atmosphere. So if, like, let's see you're in Animator's Palette on 2 of the different nights. On one night it'll be a regular Animator's Palette, and the next night it'll be the pirate night. So in the pirate night at Animator's Palette is really, really cool, by the way. But there's pirate nights, there's all sorts of different themed nights. Just check your itinerary and see what kind of different themes you have for the night and what kind of dress you want to bring. So that is really the basics of going on a Disney cruise before you actually even get on the cruise. Some of the things you might want to know, because there's a lot of stuff that happens even before you get on the cruise itself. So I hope I answered any of the questions that you have. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll make sure I try to get to as many of those comments as I can and answer any of the questions that you have. But I will see you guys later. Remember to love yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.